Hello, everybody. Let's get started. I am late because I had to restart my computer. Wasn't seeing my webcam. So sorry I am late, but for those of you that are going to watch the replay, it doesn't matter. So, anyhow, let's go ahead and tonight we are going to be talking about the fastest way you can write an estimate from the ground up, and it's going to be a wonderful time. I'm going to be sharing my screen here in just a bit with Xactimate. Well, there it is. I'm going to start a test estimate and then show you how we can go ahead and use our giveaway tonight, which is going to be a frequently used list of line items to quickly write estimates. So if you're new to this channel here, if you haven't met me before, my name is Alina Wilson with Xactimate Mastery, and I train contractors how to use Xactimate so you don't leave money on the table and you don't waste tons of time in the software. So that's what we're going to be talking about tonight is the time aspect. Most of contractors that I've worked with, and I've worked with hundreds of contractors around the nation, make the same mistake when they start using Xactimate. We have Emmy joining the stream tonight, by the way. When they start using Xactimate, or there's even seasoned users that have been using Xactimate for 5 years that don't know the process of how to quickly build an estimate from the ground up. And that's what I'm going to be talking about tonight. Something that really moves the needle quickly as far as a time aspect and not wasting hours and hours in Xactimate. Because I don't know about you, I'd rather be out on a beach than sitting at this desk writing estimates. So that's what we're going to be talking about in this Facebook Live. And if you're on YouTube, hello to you as well. And tonight's giveaway is going to be a list of the most frequently used line items, and it's one of the most popular giveaways, so you want to stick around for that. I usually don't talk for more than 15 or 20 minutes, so I will be talking or giving you that code here at the end of the live, or if you're watching the replay, so that you can grab your list of frequently used line items. So let me go ahead and get a test estimate started here. And we're just going to go ahead and jump right into the estimate items screen. I am using X1 right now because version 28 is being phased out. So all the training that I do now is in the new X1 platform, and it's really not all that different. If you take a look, here we are, we're in the estimate. If I go over to estimate items, pretty much everything that was in version 28, it's X1, but with a new blue ribbon. So if I collapse that blue ribbon, it's 28 with some lipstick on it in the form of this blue ribbon. So X1 really is no different. And I do advocate that everybody switches over because they have sunsetted the support for version 28. And so X1 is going to be the newest and best, less glitches. I say that. Had some problems logging in today. They're still working on it. Also, their new online version of X1, you don't have to use what's called Silverlight. It's a beautiful thing because you used to have to, use special browsers or do workarounds if you wanted to use it on something other than Internet Explorer. With the new X1 online version, they actually have their own little package. I can use Chrome now and go straight to Xactimate.xo, I think is what it is, and use Chrome to write the estimates on the online version. So anyways, little side note there on the different versions, but I am using X1 tonight, so it shouldn't be that confusing for you, even if you've only used X1 in the past, because it pretty much is X1 with a little slide out bar. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and hide this there. Now, what am I talking about? The fastest way to write an estimate. I'm going to go ahead and add a roof folder real quick here to make this more real world. And when I start working with contractors, usually what I find, and adjusters too, but I mostly specialize in working with contractors, but this applies to anyone using Xactimate, is mostly when you start to work in the software, you're reliant on this search bar. To find your line items, you're going up to the search bar on every estimate, and you're typing in shingles. And that's fine. And I know my screen is kind of small for you, but what I'm talking about, you don't really need to see this aspect of it. Just know that trying to find a shingle line item here is not going to be, yes, you'll find 3 tab, and right now laminate is coming up. But if I needed a, shake look comp shingle, maybe some other type high grade shingle. When you type shingles here, it's pulling from all categories. It's pulling from all trades with that keyword. So if I just put in paint here, as another example, it's going to pull up some commonly used paint line items, but it's not going to pull up paint baseboard or anything like that. Now, of course, you can add more keywords. I could type in baseboard here, and you could find what you need eventually. But there's a better way, and I'm telling you, a much better way of searching, a much better way of writing estimates than having to rely on this keyword search here. Also, the other thing is people see these pretty pictures, which actually are very useful in certain circumstances. But if you're going to build a whole estimate off of just the reference search or the photos here, it's going to take you a while because you're not going to see really what's available to you. You will see as far as the roof coating, the top level of roofing and the felt, but all of your flashings, your vents, and all of that can really be cumbersome to look at with these photo or reference search. So both this keyword search and the search by pictures, what they call it in Xactimate terms, the reference search, those are both can be big time sucks for you, big time wasters. And if you're just using your reference search to write estimates, sorry to tell you, you're wasting hours of time. So what's the better way? Well, it's to learn what are called category and selector codes. So this is your category field, and this is your selector code field. If I drop down the list here next to the category, you'll see it's just a list of all the trades that are available on the Xactimate price list. That's all they are. It's not rocket science, and they're all abbreviated into 3 characters. So for roofing, you're going to see RFG, painting, PNT. They're super simple to memorize, okay? It's not, like I said, not rocket science. You can probably figure out the category for whatever line item that you're looking for. There are some difficult, or not difficult, but there are some tricky ones, like for gutters. It's in the SFG category, soffit fascia gutters. So you do need to do a little bit of due diligence and research to make sure you've got your right categories. But let's say here that I wanted to go ahead and search for the flashings available in the roofing category. I can just put in RFG for roofing into that category field right here. And then the selector code list, I can then drop down. Now I can search here. Now I'm taking that big reference search that's up at the top, the big search by keyword, and I'm slimming it down to only roofing. I only want to search in the roofing bucket. That is where you're going to start to, save some time, not spinning your wheels up in that other search. The other thing this does is I can type in flashing here, and it will only show me the flashing that is attributed to a roofing type repair, right? I'm not searching for all flashings across the board, siding, and all the other things that could come into play here. I'm narrowing that search down to the flashing. Now, to get even faster with that is to memorize your category and your selector code. So this is our list of selector codes that I have expanded on my screen. Start to memorize, and then you get super fast at this. So let's say we're going to go ahead and build a laminate style roof. We typically use the one without felt. That's common in the insurance industry. For the insurance repairs is to use the laminated comp shingle without felt. And there it is. I can add that to my estimate. Go ahead, let's say we're working with 25.12 squares, and then I'm going to add my waist to that replacement. Say it's a hip roof. And now, whenever I hit my enter key or start to go to the next line item, you'll notice that the cursor goes into, I didn't do that. Xactimate knows, okay, she's going to start to enter another category here. That's because they know that's the fastest way to use the program, the way the program was designed. So I'm just going to go ahead and rock and roll here. We're going to use our RFG category. And as soon as I type RFG, Xactimate's going to move my cursor to that selector code. I don't have to hit tab or anything. It's going to do it automatically. And let's go ahead and add our felt. Now, because I've memorized my category and selector codes, I can build a pretty hefty estimate here just using my keyboard. So the less I have you clicking around or searching by keyword or, just doing all the rigmarole you shouldn't be doing, that shaves minutes, which turn into hours, which turn into days on the beach, right? That's what we want to do. This is how you do it. Use your keyboard. So now that I have felt 15, I am going to hit my tab key, and it's going to go from the felt 15 area to the activity code. Tab again, it's going to go to description. Tab again, it's going to go to the calculator field. So I can type in my quantity that I want, and then I'm just going to hit my enter key. What does it do? Xactimate sends me back up to the categories field where it knows I need to enter the next line item. So RFG, let's go ahead and add some drip edge, and I could tab. I could change my activity code if we want replace only or whatever the industry is doing to us right now. And then I can tab down and enter my calculator. Same thing, let's add some starter. So because I know my category and selector codes, I can roll through this estimate super fast. I can probably write a roofing and siding estimate in about 20 minutes because I have my category and selector codes memorized, and I know where to go to isolate a search if I can't find a line item. So it happens really fast, really quickly, and easy for us. And that is how you're going to do that. So using category and selector codes are for any trade. I don't care if you're mitigation, rebuild. Let's say we have the main level. If you're roofing exterior, mitigation, rebuild, this all applies to you. It doesn't matter. And let's say that we had a, the WTR category. We had some water damage. I can go ahead and start to memorize those pretty easy. Fan, the DHU is DHM. The the dehumidifiers that they use, there's everything in the WTR category is all pretty much easy to memorize because they are abbreviations of what the equipment is, and it's really easy. Actually, there's a lot of line items here, but once you start to learn, I'm trying to find one that's just random, like this ducting lay flat large. It's duct LF, and because it's large and not the average, they just put a greater than sign. So when you start to memorize the language of Xactimate, it starts to become really easy to actually memorize a lot of these categories. It's not memorization, it's like speaking the language of the program. And it's if you know what to do and know how to use it right, you just blow through estimates. It's amazing. It changed my estimating career whenever I figured out how to use this correctly. So that's the category and selector codes. And I'm going to go ahead tonight, or if you're watching the replay, we are giving away, let me go ahead and get back to here. And we are giving away the list of frequently used line items that have category and selector codes. And these are like the most commonly used ones for roofing and rebuild. If you are in mitigation or do a lot of the rebuild on the interior, go ahead and text in to get this code. Text in this code to get this list, because we will send you an email that will have the frequently used line items list. And if you want mitigation, just reply with mitigation and we'll send you that list as well. So you're going to want to type in or text in tonight. I believe it's time that we want to text in, and I'll give you the number here in just a second. Are there any questions out there on this that I can answer? Go ahead and put that in the comments section, and I can help you with any questions while I'm looking up our tonight's secret word. Let me know in the comments. Let me know if you if this was useful. That's also helpful to me to know if I'm talking about things that are useful to you all out there in Facebook and YouTube land. I'd love to hear it. Let's see. Okay, so we've got tonight. It is, or if you're watching the replay, this applies. You text report. No, don't text report. Why did it do that? Hang on, don't do that. It didn't change my. It's text fast. Save. There we go. Now we're cooking with gas. Okay, so text fast to this number, and we will reply with the report for you. I think it asks maybe for your email address. And we'll get that sent over to you. Awesome. Okay, very good. Peter, Paul, thanks so much for being here. Stoic Principles. I'm sure that's not your first and last name, but I appreciate you too for watching this evening. And anybody watching the replay, feel free to text that word to our fancy number, and our bot will get back with you with the frequently used line item list. And that's the fastest way, is just to start using the category and selector codes, get your brain working in that direction, and then you start to explore those categories and start to see how it's actually a language that you speak when you start to learn all of the codes. It's actually quite fun, but I'm a nerd, I get joy out of these kinds of things. So all right, guys, I'm actually going to take next week off, but I will be back on October 19th, I think is the right date. Yes, the 19th. I'll be here Tuesday, October 19th, and we'll be talking all about, let's see, it will be how to change prices correctly in Xactimate. So if you want to know that information, you should get a little reminder. If you text the word to that number down below, we'll also give you the reminder on the 19th. Come join me here about how to change prices in Xactimate. October 19th at 6 p.m. Central. I'm always here with bells on, ready to teach you something new in Xactimate. And going to be in Palm Springs next week, but the week after, on the 19th, I will see you. Hope you guys have a great 2 weeks in your business, and I will see you back then. And hope you text down below to get your free resource. We'll see ya.